Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Timisoara, and I welcome you because I feel like home because I was here 1 year ago, so it already feels like home, and this is because of Alexandra and the team that made me feel like being at home. So first of all, I would like to thank all the participants, also dear Vice Rector for Research, Development, Innovation, Secretary of State of Ministry of Research, Innovation, Digitalization, Counselor to the Minister of Education, and Director General Regional Development Agency West. Dear distinguished speakers, dear Living Labs, dear team. Before starting, I would like to thank the co-organizers, UVT, and especially Alexandra, for the great hospitality and for making this event happen. Also, a big thank to the whole team for taking care of all the small details, and I'm sure that you know, since you participated in OpenLivingLab days, most of you the last years, and you know how much it takes for the very small details. So I'm sure that you're going to enjoy really a conference, a smooth conference. Those of you who were yesterday in the General Assembly, you realize how fast and how in the right way and all is growing. We have more projects, but more strategic projects with more budget for our members. And also not budget, but also higher value for our members, because now we have the mechanisms and all in order to make sure that the key exploitable results are realized, so become real exploitable results and real services provide value for our members. We have an advanced capacity building program that now it's not only on how you develop you can build your own living lab, but also how you can exploit existing living labs. So we try to increase again the value for our members, creating the clients or actually educating or training or providing the skills to the clients for using existing living labs, but also tailored capacity building programs specific to the needs of the living labs, whether it is an advanced living lab and they want to go, on a higher maturity level, or they are newcomers and want to make sure that they can advance in the right way. And our network, which is the most important thing, becomes bigger and at the same time more attached to an all and more aware of what is happening, which the opportunities are. You're gonna see, yesterday we presented, most probably you're gonna see the quotes of our members and how happy they feel and how happy they are with the services that are provided. And as you know, we're here to listen and to learn what is missing. So it's not about creating what we can, but creating services that are really needed by our members. And we have organized different types of events. We have the flagship event, OpenLivingLab Days, and we started experimenting, but now it becomes really an event that we follow up with national summits and symposia. We have also the No Info Day, because there are many organizations out there that work as living labs, real living labs, but they are not aware on how you can be certified or the importance of certification. So this is the main role of ENOL, the role of ENOL actually, to make sure that we increase the awareness of what ENOL is and how you can become a member. And also strong participation to key events, like the participation to the United Nations, Science Summit of the United Nations. We have restructured a little bit the task forces. We have introduced the working groups, which are actually thematic working groups on a long-term basis, and also kept the task forces in a way that different key people from the working groups work together in order to achieve something. Because as you will realize later, these 2 days, living labs are about collaborating with others. So this starts even from the heart of all the working groups that they have to bring together different skills and expertise from the working groups in order to create value for our members. And closing, I would like to highlight challenge and opportunity for the Living Labs following the topic of this year, the social or societal engagement. Living Labs are always about working with and for humans. It's always, you cannot find a Living Lab that humans are not involved. And this means that it's always about creating and sustaining trust with the local ecosystem, because Living Labs are really well blended with the local ecosystem. And if it takes one effort to create the ecosystem or to create the trust, it takes 100 more times to sustain this trust. And this is actually the value of the Living Labs. This is why the Living Labs, the more they are creating a trustful environment in the ecosystem, the better they are and the more service they provide and the more mature they are. There are many Living Labs here that have been certified for years, so you can learn from them. For the same Living Labs, these mature Living Labs can learn from the newcomers what is needed, what are the challenges of new Living Labs. This is my last opening as the president of NOL, but we will have the time to discuss this at the closing of day one. And I would like to invite Martina, our director, to give more information on what is going to happen the following days. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you very much, Abdo, and good morning, everyone. We are finally here. We are happy and proud to kickstart this OLLD 2024. We started working with UVT back in January, meeting every single week to create really a good conference, and we hope you will enjoy. So in the coming 2 days, we can expect 15 sessions, 13 workshops, 40 research papers. This year, I must say, we were surprised of receiving many research papers. And 6 posters that you can also see and vote for in the hallway behind the entrance. And also 7 side events that choose OLLD to organize different projects, meetings or thematic meetings around living labs in cities, schools, AI, climate and universities. We launched this year a new format that is called the Terrace Talk on the beautiful terrace on the 2nd floor, where you can experience 3 main thematics. One is going to be the launch of the working group on gender. The other one is discussing and exploring formal and informal learning in living labs through creative methods and solutions. And also we will launch the book of one of our members that will also sign copies, so it's going to be this kind of moment. So please also come and meet Enol at our stand. We will have also stand with Nashun's project and water mining project. And it is also, as I said, the OLLD, the moment to launch working groups. So yesterday we started with launching a brand new working group on urban innovation, and we have here the leaders, Anthony and Ricardo. And tomorrow at 11 we are going to launch another working group on a very important thematic as well, that is on transitions for climate, and Giorgia Cantopoulo is also here. So please just go and look what we are doing there. We also want to thank our sponsor, Continental and the Nashun's project. The Nashun project is supporting the EU mission soil for healthy soils by 2050. And Continental develops pioneering technologies and services for sustainable and connected mobility of people and their goods since 1871. So they've been around doing innovation since a long time. And Continental Romania is pioneering an interesting experiment for an internal living lab on AI and how to adopt AI internally. So if you're interested, find them and really have a conversation on this. We are also really happy to actually announce that for the first time, BOLD and Enol is teaming up with the Enterprise Europe Network to have a networking event, a brokerage event, where actually all the people in the conference will be able to meet the local ecosystem, especially the companies, but also will have a facilitated way to speak among themselves. So we would like to thank Adir Vest and Templus, the Romanian node of Enterprise Europe Network. And if you don't know this, Enterprise Europe Network, since 2008, it is the network that is supporting small and medium enterprises for technology transfer, but also the creation of new partnerships for selling products, for participating in projects. And they are present in more than 60 countries, and they have nodes in more than 600 different regions in Europe. So we are very happy to have more than 340 participants here. So not all of you managed to enter in this room, but we are streaming the opening and the closings also at the second floor. And we would really like to warmly welcome participants from all European countries, but also from Zambia, the United States, Turkey, Tunisia, Taiwan, South Korea, South Africa, Senegal, Nigeria, Mexico, Kenya, Japan, Israel, India, Ecuador, Colombia, Canada and Australia. So thank you so much for traveling so far to be here with us today. Thank you. So I also, to close, also like to thank all the session owners, because the conference is actually happening because you have proposed very engaging sessions, and the program is going to be really interesting, but also for the workshops that will help us learn new tools and new methodologies. Last but not least, we have foreseen many networking opportunities. I invite you all actually to fill in this bingo that you find in the bag, because the winners will have a surprise, a prize that you can actually get in the Enol booth. And for effective member of Enol, there will be also a lottery with a surprise later today. So we can share with you more of what we are doing. So before giving the floor to Alexandra Tectu, I really would like to thank her for all her leadership in supporting us in the organization, but also the other Alexandra, Andra, Joanna and Andrea for this. And so please let me give the floor to the real powerhouse, Alexandra, and also our new member of the Council of Enol. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Martina. This made me really nervous. I'm not going to cry though, because I'm super happy to see everyone here. This has been a dream ever since the submission of our proposal to receive the OpenLivingLab days in Timisoara, and during the presentation last year in Barcelona, as mentioned also yesterday during the GA and the Council meeting. I was only sorry that we will not be able to travel to all of the 5 locations at the same time, but are hopeful with the possibility of hosting other OpenLivingLab days in Istanbul, in Lucerne, and Budapest, and so on. So it is with great pleasure that we welcome you all to Timisoara, which is part of the west region of Romania, and this is why we are so happy to have important partners with us that will offer a broader context of how research and innovation is being perceived at both national, regional, local, and institutional level. So with this, I will give the floor person by person. First of all, to the Vice Director responsible for research, development, innovation, sustainability, technology transfer, and diaspora for a welcome address. Thanking very kindly to Professor Madalin Punoiu for the entire support and for creating the premises for the West University of Timisoara to become one of the university's pioneering living labs in open innovation. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexandra, and congratulations for your new position. I'm really proud because not only you, but also West University of Timisoara is present actively in the European network of living labs. So, dear friends, dear colleagues, dear former and new president of Enol, dear representatives of governmental institutions, Andrea Alexandru, the State Secretary of Ministry of Research, Andrei Crăciun, the representative of the Ministry of Education, and Sorin Maxim, the representative of ADR-Vest, which is an important institution in the west part of Romania, and we collaborate a lot with them. Yes, it's really a pleasure to see so many people involved in what that means, living labs. Kind new concept, I would say, at least for Romania, because yes, we are pioneering a little bit at the Western University of Timisoara when we became a new member of ENOL. I will just say a few words about our university, and yes, in general we are saying that we are not the biggest, we are not the most powerful, but we really believe that we are the most dynamic university in Romania. Warm welcome also from the part of our rector, Marilyn Gabriel Pirtea, which probably will join us these days. As I told you already, we are dynamic, but we have also a lot of students, more than 15,000 students in our university, in more than 12 faculties, in a lot of fields, and all connected not only to education but also with research. We have a lot of research centers, and you are here now in our, let's say, newest infrastructure, research infrastructure. The Institute for Environmental Research just opened their doors several months ago. We are trying here not only to put together research in an interdisciplinary way, but also to have a mix with arts. And I hope that you already observed, and I hope that you like it, two marvelous paintings. One is here in this amphitheater and another one in the main floor. And I want just to tell you that we succeed to have it for one of the most important painters of this region, and not only from our country, and their works were evaluated at more than 700,000 euros. So we already have here a kind of treasure, but I hope that in the near years the treasure of this institute will be the research results that our colleagues will obtain. Concerning the innovation and the entrepreneurship, we are trying to be innovative in the field of education, and we just build in our university a pathway for the students to not be only professionals in their fields, but also to have soft skills, to have transversal competencies. And in this way, we start in the first semester of the first year with a discipline of counseling, a professional counseling, and we are doing with our specialists, and of course with specialists which are coming from our economical and social partnerships. And we continue because we really believe that a good professional must be an ethical one, and a second discipline of ethics in research and education is done in the second semester. And starting with the second year, we are starting with these transversal competencies. I think that we are the only university in Romania where the students have to take at least 3 disciplines from different faculties, because we really believe that a graduate must be also an intellectual one. So having transversal skills and competencies, it's important in our university. And we offer also to our students 2 other disciplines of entrepreneurship. One is related to general aspects, and the second one is an application one, again together with our partners from industry and not only. So we all, the participants from the Western University of Timisoara, will be eager to just have your presentations and to try to learn everything that you can offer us. And of course, I hope that at the end of the conference you either will say that annual conference in Timisoara was successful for every one of you. Thank you so much.
I'm extremely grateful to be part of an organization that really understands the missions of the universities, which are education, research, and impacting the community. And with this in mind, stemming from the conversation that was beautifully introduced by our Vice Rector, I introduce now Andrei Alexandru, Secretary of State, Deputy Minister to the Minister of Research, Innovation and Digitalization, thanking for the opportunity to have innovation indeed flourishing at a very high level. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to join this esteemed audience here today, representing the Ministry of Research, Innovation and Digitalization. Let me start off by extending a special welcome to everyone and by congratulating the organizers of this great event. At the Ministry, it is our fundamental duty to develop societal views, so it behooves us to routinely take stances and develop long-term views precisely on topics spanning and interconnecting multiple subfields of expertise. As a key institution in the national research and innovation ecosystem, our ministry is deeply committed to fostering any and all initiatives leading to the general progress of our economy, health, safety, and human well-being in general. Ladies and gentlemen, research and innovation are probably the most important engines of our economy. So, at the Ministry, we encourage the collaboration, the cooperation between public research organizations and between the research organization and the entrepreneurs, since the results derived from the research process should be applied in the real life, in the real economy, in the real society, in order to assure a sustainable economic growth and to generate prosperity and safety for all of us. As an example of how we support the collaboration between the research sector and the private sector, I want to emphasize that we launched many investments through the national funds, but also via European funds. For example, in January 2024, this year, we launched the competition of excellence centers, probably the most important as budget competition in Romania. 320 million euros are allocated to consortia, private and public consortia, that deal with societal challenges, that try to resolve concrete problems of the society. We will operationalize 24 such excellence centers in research domains that are connected with the societal challenges, as I said before. And the research domains start from digitalization, industry, space, environment, adaptation to climate changes, agriculture, but also health and cybersecurity. Together with this investment through national funds, we also operationalized through the National Resilience and Recovery Plan 5 competence centers in the research domains that are associated to the 5 missions of the European Union in Horizon Europe: cancer, adaptation to climate changes, restoration of water, soil, and also climate neutral and smart cities. Each such competence center has a budget of 5 million euros, each one. And also through the National Resilience and Recovery Plan, we had another major investment number 8, whose goal was to attract highly specialized human resource from abroad. 168 million euros were allocated to sign 160 financing contracts, through which researchers with a great expertise came from abroad into our system. Together with these investments, we also have cohesion funds. Last month, our ministry finally validates with the European Commission the favorable condition of well-governance of the strategy for smart specialties at the national and the regional level. In this way, we were able to obtain 1.7 billion euros from abroad through 3 major programs financed via the cohesion policy. The program for smart growth, digitalization and financial instruments, all the 8 regional programs, and the program for health. And in this way, we will finance a hub for artificial intelligence, a platform for semiconductors. We also finance the generation of energy within the hydrogen and 2 other major projects such as Danubius and Alfred. We will finance the research in strategic domains such as quantum technologies, artificial intelligence, autonomous systems, genomics, and other parts of health. For example, the treatment of cancers using lasers, and also other major strategic projects of Romania such as ELI and PET. Together with my current official and temporary, of course, official responsibilities, I'm also a researcher. I'm a mathematician within the Romanian Academy. So I know very well how important the science for society is. So I want to assure you all of my full commitment for supporting all the parts of the research, either the fundamental or the applicative research, the innovation, and most of all the knowledge transfer. Since, as I have previously said, the results obtained during the research process should provide benefits for us, should be applied in the real life to generate prosperity and safety. Finally, I want to thank you all. I want to thank particularly to Madalin Bunoiu, one of my best friends and a very good collaborator, particularly because he supports us in all our processes, and, for example, a great support we obtained from Madalin in rewriting the entire legislation of Romania, of research in Romania, in respect of the recommendations of the European Commission's via the mechanism of policy support facility, and with respect to the European card of researchers. So again, thank you, Madalin, and thank you. Thank you.
The natural connection between education and research can be seen at several levels, but I will take the last point in Secretary of State intervention, which is the knowledge transfer, and one of the forms in which we transfer the knowledge from academia to the community's education. Therefore, it is my great pleasure to welcome here Andrei Crăciun, Counselor to the Ministry of Education, for a warm welcome. And shall I also say that you are our colleagues and are not with the Ministry? Thank you so much for everything you're doing, Timisoara or Bucharest or whatever. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Alexandra. A real powerhouse, indeed. But I like to think that the whole university is a powerhouse, and it's not only a powerhouse, but it's a power heart. Because you can do things with technology, you can do things with money, with resources, but you cannot do meaningful things without the hearts and the hard work that people are putting into making things a reality. And I'm sorry, I'm a bit nervous. It's always a pleasure to get that back home and I realized that I joined this team in 2017, and since then I've only felt like things are working out even if they don't, because of the people, because of the effort, and because of really wanting to change the society. And now I'm not talking only about what the university is doing, but the higher extent of the results over the society, over the people that are joining the team. Today I'm honored also to extend greetings and read the message from the Minister of Education that she couldn't be here, and I'll proceed to that. Esteemed colleagues, educators and partners in the field of education, As we gather to explore the transformative potential of collaboration and innovation within our educational system, the themes of our days together here, Living Labs Frontiers, driving systemic change through societal engagement for real impact, resonates deeply with my mission and our mission to enhance education and enhance our lives through education and active engagement and collaboration. Living Labs serve as a vital platform for addressing grand societal changes through collaboration, research, and also through innovation. These environments foster an ecosystem where students, educators, and the entire society can work together with things that are not only commercially relevant, but relevant for the entire society. Collaboration is at the heart of effective education, and I'll make a brief pause here because I remember in 2017, before I joined UBT, I went to, I think I've taken a towards in Nepal, right after, maybe 1.5 years after the earthquake there, and noticed something that struck my mind as an involvement, as a model of involvement. They had many problems. The water systems went down. The whole ecosystem had to be replaced on their right track. And they realized they're not going to do that with the older population. And they did that with the youngsters in schools. They taught them how to wash their hands often, how to boil the water before they consume it. And it went bottom up as a flagship that they also have here, and now they kept it. And it was the way they saved time, they saved money, and probably they saved lives in effort just by joining that effort of spreading the collaboration, spreading the educational efforts from down upwards. You might be wondering what could be the benefits of collaborating innovation, because it's not about the technology. It's, as I said earlier, it is about engagement. And all of us are more motivated when they see the direct impact of our work. When you see that the projects we are building are nurture essential skills such teamwork, communication, and maybe problem solving, why not? We are living exponential times. The technology will help us. We don't even scratch the surface with AI, and when quantum will come into play, everything that we know today will be a bit better, will change, but that will change with the power hearts and power minds working together. And we should not forget about fostering inclusivity. Living Labs can become vehicles for fostering inclusive engagements across diverse groups. And this includes addressing issues related to equity, diversity, and actually practically inclusion within our educational systems, within our teams, within our professional endeavors. And by nurturing inclusivity within the Living Labs we are all building, we can promote systemic change that addresses societal changes equitably. I encourage all the stakeholders, including educators, researchers, policymakers, private parties and private companies to adopt and collaborate and open knowledge, which is essential for the part of our education, but also in the professional lives. We are trying together to transform schools and universities and research centers into community hubs. And we should try to create an inclusive environment that goes beyond the curriculum, that goes beyond the policies, that really builds up added value for the whole ecosystem. I would also like to thank Vice Rector Modelin Bunoi, because he's a part of he's one of the reasons I joined and stayed in the university, because the enthusiasm that I found with him, that I found later with Alexandra, that I found later with the whole team, has driven my I don't know, involvement in trying to build something different, not only for my benefit, but for our benefit. It's that collective essence that we all strive for is present here, and I hope you take a bit of that energy and get it back to all over the globe. And thank you all for joining us, and can hardly wait to exchange more thoughts. Thank you.
When designing the potential thematic for this year's Open Living Lab Days, territoriality was an important component. And with this in mind, we were extremely grateful to be coming from a familiar ground, as we have an active and fruitful and authentic collaboration with the Regional Development Agency. So it is my pleasure to invite to the stage Sorin Maxim to offer a warm welcome to the region on behalf of, considering his role as the Director General of the West Regional Development Agency. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexandra. I also touched this very sensitive screen. Thank you very much. I want to wish you a warm welcome. I appreciate your determination and commitment to come here from different countries, different continents. I know this is an effort for you, but we hope to transform your effort and investment in our region somehow to cooperate and collaborate in the very next future. I represent the Agency for Regional Development. We implement cohesion policy, of course, like in many other countries. And we are happy to have a component for innovation in the last planning cycle. And we coordinate also the Enterprise Europe Network, which is a platform offered to ensure cooperation and collaboration between different actors and people. I don't want to have a very long speech in the beginning, but I want to emphasize and I want to insist on the people. The people make the difference everywhere, not the money, not the technology. Everything can come easily if the people have commitment and have the real and the nice vision. And we hope to learn from you today and these days. And also my colleagues will be in these days together with you from the agency. And we are happy to contribute and to be, you know, a facilitator of communication between the companies, universities, and of course innovators. Because, like I discussed with one important innovator in one moment, he explained that between companies and universities are needed to be some entities, and these entities are represented by innovators and by researchers and people like you, and all who do this very beautiful job, putting together these sectors and trying to develop new ideas, to transform innovation and to transform the ideas in products, to improve the quality of life. In the end, I want to wish you to enjoy also Timisoara and to benefit on this nice weather these days, and with beautiful autumn in Timisoara, and also to come here to visit with your family or together with your friends, and to, of course, to develop friendships here in Timisoara, in our region. Thank you very much, and I wish you a very pleasant stay in Timisoara and in our region. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the Romanian institution for the inspiring words and for being here with us. And I know that you have been here also yesterday, and some of you will be with us also tomorrow, so thank you very much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to introduce you to our keynote speaker, Heidi Schambauer. Dr. Schambauer is the founder of Country, a pioneering consultancy dedicated to research in digital transformation. With an impressive background as a business consultant and academic researcher, she has spent over 20 years collaborating with leaders and teams across both the public and the private sectors. So, thank you very much for being with us today, and please, I think the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. It's such an honor to be here and talking to such an esteemed and international audience. Thanks to Inol, particularly to Willem and Martina for inviting me to give this speech. I'm going to talk about citizen engagement, and it gives a very special feeling to talk about citizen engagement in a city where citizens play such an important role in the future of Romania and democracy. So, very good to be here. Thank you again. So, my name is indeed Heidi Schomba. I spent 21 years with PwC and IBM, and around 2015 I decided that the world is becoming so complex, so difficult to understand, that in order to be a good consultant, I need to do some research myself. And at IBM you're either a researcher or a consultant, but not both. So then I said I'm going to start working on my own. So this is when I started my consultancy, and I'm still, next to that, affiliated with Erasmus University in the Netherlands. My passion is technology, governance, and I hope to share some of that passion with you today. So I'm going to take a three-step approach for chapters. Basically, let's for a moment start considering that we live in interesting times. Then I will talk about engagement, and finally I'm going to leave you with some closing thoughts. Interesting times. I saw this picture, it's already almost 5 years ago when Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of the United Nations, said, these are the four horsemen of the apocalypse that are facing us in the 21st century. Geopolitical tensions, I don't need to explain. We have a war in Europe, we have tensions in the Middle East, we have rivalry in the United States and China, and we are stuck in the middle a little bit as Europeans. Climate change. We have seen the flooding in Central Europe. Nobody is denying that we have a climate problem. Global mistrust. I will come back to that later, but trust, because we are under pressure, the trust is the first thing to go. How do we regain trust? And finally, the dark side of technology. This is the closest to my heart because I'm an engineer by education. So it pains me to see that 15 years ago we were so happy with Facebook. We called the Arab Spring the Facebook revolution because people organized through Facebook and we were so excited. And then about 10 years later, this was also the consequences of technology, of social media, of Facebook, of fake news. So yes, we live in interesting times. Fears are on the rise. People are afraid of their economic position. Their existential anxieties, information war, nuclear war, hackers. So this is research done by Edelman, and they do this every year, and they give a good trend of what's happening in terms of trust, and it's a trust barometer. So why are we at this point in time? Is it because of globalization? Did we globalize too much? Are we now moving to deglobalization? Is it because people in the global world feel they're losing their identity? Is it because of sustainability or lifestyles are criticized? We're not allowed to fly anymore. Is that the reason? We're anxious about that. Is it about digitalization? Are we afraid of losing our jobs to machines? And we have to compete with them. So I don't have the answer, to be honest, but probably it's all of the above. What I do know is that in a democratic society, you need everybody to be citizens to participate, to co-create, to be democratic, to know their rights, to be resilient. While at the right-hand side of this slide, you see that we have an equality gap, we have a participation gap, and at the same time, we also have a digital literacy gap. Not everybody really can cope. So, and we're leaving people behind. Those that cannot cope, we're leaving them behind, and we should not leave them behind. Basically, that's the most important message. So this is why should we engage? The world is becoming too complex. This is the reason why I started my own company, and I'm spending a fair amount of my time on research, and I still don't grasp everything, but it's becoming complex. Change is happening too much, too fast. Many things are changing at the same time, and a smart society does not leave anyone behind. So that's the challenge, also for you in your living labs, I guess. Particularly at this point in time, as half of the world's population is going through the ballot box. So, if we leave people behind, they fall prey to undemocratic forces. This is another reason why we should not leave anyone behind. And how can we sustain democracy if we cannot agree in our agora on how to communicate with other people living in filter bubbles? How do we ensure that we still are able to keep talking to each other? Citizen engagement is the answer, and the question is how to do that, of course, because it's difficult. On the left-hand side, you see a picture from the municipality of Rotterdam, which is one of my clients, and they really take the perspective of come engage with me. And on the right-hand side, you see the picture from a citizen's perspective. I'm disengaged on the bottom rung of the stair. How do you get me to really become transformed and inspired to really change my behavior? This is the tension between municipalities on the one hand, or governments on the one hand, and the citizens on the other. It's a tango. This is a research that we did already a couple of years ago. And we asked companies and governments why should people why should we engage? Why should citizens be engaged? And here you see that we engage citizens to be entrepreneur, to be able to monetize their data. And this is an interesting answer coming from government also. It was in their top 2 to say, top 1 even for government, we should empower citizens to become entrepreneurs. If you look at big difference between companies and government, it's about to make their voices heard. This is where government, of course, addresses in democratic society. We need to make the voices heard, and companies don't care a lot about that. It's to be expected. And interestingly enough, is this one. Nobody, neither government nor company, said it's really about engaging them to design policies. This was one strange one for us when we did the research. But these are. This was a survey that we did in 80 European cities, many companies, and most of them struggle to engage citizens. This is just nice. I put it in here because it's a nice reference of all the research that academics has done on citizen engagement. Interesting to know that there's not a lot of research as to that we ask citizens why they would like to participate, which is interesting. We know why government wants to participate, but there's not a lot of why they want to participate. So, summarizing, there are many reasons for citizens to participate, and government wants them to participate, but be smart about the why. Be clear, you cannot have all these objectives of participation in one go. So, about technology, this is a slide that we want everybody to participate, we want to use technology in this speech at least to help us do that. And we started with smart cities about 15 years ago, then we moved to urban data platforms, ultimately digital twins are the next hot topic today, and there are already some cities moving to the metaverse, or the cityverse as Europe calls it, and actually a project going on now about the cityverse. So is this the solution? Will we go travel this road? I don't know. I don't know if I want to live in the machine or the metaverse. One thing is sure, there is no distinction anymore between the real and the virtual world. So how to engage? What do you engage people on? First of all, you should engage people in all the aspects of the city or the society, and make sure that you stay within planetary boundaries. And I think that there are many labs here that each of them covering all this space. In the middle, how do you connect all the data coming from these different fields? That's why we call a city a system of systems. You can do that interconnection through urban data platforms. This could be personal data, citizens as sensors. And upon those urban data platforms, you can develop apps and services. And ultimately, if you want to go to the metaverse, you can develop the metaverse on top of this data. And it's about innovation. It's an ecosystem, really, if you think about it. It's an ecosystem, and it's connecting, and you can connect your city platform to another city's data platform. Digital twins, I already talked about that. Everybody, many organizations, cities are now exploring where the concept of a digital twin could be used for many different functions. And ultimately, the metaverse, the message here basically is there is no digital or physical world. There's only one world. And what we do online, offline, it's all connected. Don't think in two worlds, it's just one world. We talked about trust, the research that we did back as part of the European Union project called Ruggedized. The obvious thing that came out of there, trust is basically the most important ingredient. Without trust, we cannot get people to adopt and engage with the platforms. And we have to be clear on the governance, and I guess this goes for LivingLab as well, governance, capabilities, and the purpose. Why are you doing what you are doing? Now, there's a little problem with trust. As you can see, this is from the same Edelman Trust Barometer 2024, governments are not trusted. And this is a survey done across the world, 28 countries or so. And this is also a shocking chart, and it's consistent over the last couple of years. So this is a real problem, because if you look at trust, it's built up of the capability, the benevolence, do you have my best interest at heart, and the integrity. Do you show consistent behavior over time? And government does not score well on capability and ethical or integrity. So, if you don't trust government, should we trust companies? I guess we cannot trust those either. This is a recent hot from the news. Elon Musk was sued by a judge in Supreme Court in Brazil. Twitter would have been abolished there. And this is what he posted on Twitter, on X I should say, on 25th of August, attacking the Supreme Court judge publicly. So, how do we go about dealing with big tech? I have a lot of questions for you. I don't have any answers, so you don't notice that. For you as governments and companies, for everybody, it's really important to listen, especially for government, it's important to listen to what people say. This is a very important capability. And how to rebuild trust? It's something that can be designed, but it's also something that needs to emerge. What is important, that if you build trust mechanisms into your systems, you have to do it together. The process on how you design stuff is as important as the outcome of the design itself. So do things together with the community, with the quadruple helix. This is really very important. Alright, so this is basically what I wanted to share with you. How I'm doing on time, I think I'm doing fine, right? Okay. So what? Really, so what? This is where we are. Democracy is besieged by fake news. Singularity, AI is going to take over. Migration is a big problem. Surveillance capitalism, is big books written about that. Climate change, genetic engineering, all these job displacement, and ultimately, if we mess up here on Earth, we can also always leave for Mars, together with Elon. Not with him, I know. So for the first time in history, we have the capability to change, to fully shape the natural and the artificial world. Great power commands great responsibility. So it's upon us all to feel this responsibility, not just one actor. So what to do? What's the call to action? Time to act now. The government rebuild trust. That chart that Edelman shows is really bad and it's consistent there for a couple of years in a row. And be sincere about engagement. Make sure that you engage with the community for good reasons, because community is not stupid. Companies take ESG and environmental and social and governance, society and governance, take that seriously. Also be ethical in your design. And for academics, for me, for us here in this university, why is this thing going by itself? It's embrace citizen science. Critical thinking is a very important skill. We talked about people that come from this university that need to be intellectuals as well. This is very important. So these are the words that I would speak as an academic and a consultant. If I were an activist, I would say academia, get out of your ivory tower and engage with the community. Companies, I would say, forget about Freeman. Profit is not the only reason why companies exist. To government, I would say, you have to provide countervailing power to companies, and you should not only do it by leadership, but by legislation, like we're doing in Europe right now, which is very good, but also through leadership. Take us by the hand, show leadership. And to citizens, to us all, basically, it's all about us. We should be serious about our vote, and we should realize that we can only change the world if we change our own behavior. And I guess that's what you guys are doing at Inol, which is very good, which is great. So I will leave you with this final words. If you can engage citizens, ask yourself why, what for, and how. And most importantly, I would like you to think. Have a good conference, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Aideen. Thank you so much for this inspiring word and this invitation to critical thinking and coming together and with all our communities. And very quickly, is this, no? Yeah. So as Sorin was saying before, people make the change, but people also make the conference. And we have an amazing community, so we really want to have you speaking and mixing and really have the chance to meet with each other. And this year we have a particularly huge presence from outside of Europe. So we had an idea to create opportunities during the coffee break to speak directly with the people from a specific country. And also people from that country that don't know themselves can actually network like this. So during the coffee break you will find flags on the tables. Everyone will recognize the flag of their country. Maybe we will not recognize the flag of all countries, especially the one that we don't go to often. So it is also a good way to go and ask, where is this country from? So each coffee break we are going to change the flags on the table so the others could mingle. So please just go to your flag if you are from that country and welcome the others to discuss and to share. So we hope this will help really to get the conversation going. So these are the coffee breaks where we are going to actually do this networking. And now, as we are running a little bit late, I would like actually to invite Wim Kinderen to actually come and moderate with us the high-level session on regional engagement and the regional dimension of Living Labs. So Wim, thank you so much, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I would immediately want to invite the speakers to come forward when I introduce the panel, because we are a little bit indeed running out of time. So, Ilgokamas, Arthur, Georgia, and Sorin, please take your seats. Martina, how much time do we have? More or less? No.
Less,
Great.
no, 25 minutes.
We will manage. Thank you, Heidi, for a very interesting keynote. Everybody is interested in hearing more. We have her in our panel of the Dust Working Group at the end of today, also in interaction with other speakers. I also don't want to live in the metaverse, but it's going to happen, so we have to deal with it, and that's one of the issues my colleague Anthony will be moderating you and interrogating you about. Imagine for a second we're living in an interesting time. I think we are, and that's also an interesting time for Living Labs. Living Labs, I don't need to convince you, otherwise you wouldn't be here, are a unique instrument in the innovation toolbox. We call ourselves innovation ecosystem orchestrators. At NL we're very good in also imagining long titles for session. This one is Emerging Importance of Regional Ecosystem Dimension of Living Labs. What is this about? Most of us are mostly working on a local level, but more and more we see that Living Labs are emerging to a regional level and having a focus also on the economical aspects. And this makes me quite happy because I'm representing the city of Eindhoven in the Netherlands. But I'm also very deeply involved in the brainports at the regional level, the ecosystem of partners there trying to strengthen that region. And more in taking into account societal challenges to think of, I would say. I have a panel of 4 speakers. Our local hosts, represented by Sorin Maxim, who is the Director General of the West Regional Development Agency of Romania. We also saw Mr. Maxim already welcoming us a few minutes ago. We have Evdokinos Konstantinidis, the Chair of ENOL, Georgia Ifontopoulou, Director of Research at the Hellenic Institute of Transport, and Arthur Serra, the Deputy Director of ITOCAT Research Institute in Catalonia, Barcelona, Catalonia, that order. Or do you say it in that way these days? We're going to start with policy. We were extremely happy a few years ago when the then-time European Commissioner for Research and Innovation, Maria Gabriel, launched the new European Innovation Agenda and Living Labs were in the agenda. So we really have the attention of policymakers, including the European Commission. Why do you think that Living Labs have become so central to EU policies at this moment? And how do you think Living Labs contribute to the key challenges such as digital transformation, sustainability, and social innovation?
Thanks, Vin. First of all, we say that Living Labs are methodologies, tools, but it's not only this. Living Labs are very well connected with the local ecosystems. Living Labs are blended with the local ecosystems. As I said in the beginning, Living Labs actually are really well connected with the local ecosystem for many years. So this is about Living Labs are not projects. Living Labs are not just individual activities. Living Labs are there, and they have fostered the feeling to the community that they can provide innovation, they can facilitate innovation. It's not like they are projects that have some tasks, they have to engage, they have to deliver, and that's it. So Living Labs know very well the challenges of the ecosystem, but also the opportunities and the power that each of the actors of the quadruple helix have. So the power of the Living Lab is not only that they can co-create with the community, involving all the stakeholders, but also to monitor the long-term adoption of the innovation results. Because it's not about delivering and then going to the next project. It's delivering and monitoring and learning and creating knowledge even after they deliver. And participatory design, it's not something new. It's not, I think it was not invested by Living Labs. When Living Labs came, participatory design was there. We can see years ago, in the European Commission calls that they ask always to involve the users and things like this. They never mentioned, or they started lately mentioning co-creation. They used other words, but the value that we're seeking was the same. How we can bring together the end users in order to make sure that innovation and the results of innovation are really useful. What Living Labs brought in this, on top of the participatory design, was the systematic methodology. So Living Labs try to make sure that the methodologies that are used are evaluated, are evolving, they have been exchanged among different practitioners in order to make sure that we use the best practices. And we have the right tools now for the different phases of the innovation. And I think that Living Lab started as key solutions, and actually it was, Living Labs were more in the beginning, but Artur can say more during the breaks. Living Labs for the Living Labs. So we're trying to find our identity years ago, the Living Labs. So we're actually spotted by the European Commission, but as a baby with the potential to grow. And then 5 years ago, our ambassadors, and our ambassadors, we have the best ambassadors, it's our members, actually, have started providing proofs and documentation of the impact of the Living Labs the last 5 to 6 years. And this is why the European Commission, we couldn't be stealth in the European Commission radar, and they saw that we are teenagers with strength and passion for innovation. So the European Commission started asking. I'm sure that many of us have experienced like saying things like Living Labs should be like this, or they can help this societal challenge, or this research project, etc. And then in the next work program to see these key components in the course, because the European Commission started seeing this. And the continuous growing of phenol and growing in the right way led to the European Commission and the EU in general to think of living labs as a promising and impactful tool for social innovation. And this is then why they enter discussions with the office in order to better understand. And to better understand how living labs fit to research innovation actions and innovation actions. And actually one of these examples is the missions, because the missions look for delivering impact, and this is why they are trying to be very close to the living labs, because this is the core of the living labs, how we deliver impact in a fast and safe way, and how we can learn. And the most important thing is the certification, and I think this is also attractive, because every time we speak and we say our members are certified and we have a seal of excellence, quality measure, evaluation procedure, it's always like they say, okay, let's see what this is, because everybody can say, I'm a living lab, I work with a living lab, but we need at the end of the day to say what living labs are. It doesn't mean that it should be written in stone, it can evolve, but we need at least to have a common language. And the law provides the capacity building programs for all types of building the living lab, exploiting the living lab, and this is really for the last thing. It's not only about how we can create living labs, but how we can use existing living labs as well. So I think that all these make the living labs and all really attractive.
And make the Commission understand why they have to mention it, although the core idea is already there for a longer time, as you were explaining. Thank you, Dr. Arthur, as I was already saying, living labs transition these days, there's a clear trend that they go from local initiatives to regional ecosystems. Why do you actually think this transition is happening, and why is it also crucial for the future of living labs themselves?
Okay, we have these twin transitions, digital and green transition, and in 2019 we started a project called Collaboratory Catalonia. I2CAT Foundation, as the name said, is I2CAT, it's not only I2 Barcelona. But during years we started with this kind of project in the city of Barcelona, in the metropolitan area, and we think all the metropolitan areas has this syndrome of not invented here. You think you live in Barcelona, and Barcelona is the European capital of innovation, blah, 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 that outside Barcelona there is no knowledge, no innovation, nothing. But we are an internet research center, and internet is for everyone. And Living Labs is for everyone. We say empowering everyone to innovate, not only empowering of the citizens of Barcelona. And say, okay, we are I2CAT Foundation, let's try to see how the rest of the Catalonia innovates, and how can we help to develop this Living Lab approach. With a kind of paternalistic viewpoint. Normally the city and the rural has this kind of geographical vision. We are the urban metropolitan, we will have the rural areas. But when you go to the field, I am an anthropologist, you begin to discover that the rural areas, this network of small and medium cities in the rural areas, has knowledge, has experience, has innovation, and has maybe a distinct mindset that is interesting to discover, to validate. For example, in 2020, the COVID exploded. And suddenly, the big cities recognize an existential problem. They don't produce food. And who are producing the food? Not the metropolitan areas, but the rural areas. And this, the agriculture became a critical existential factor for survival of the big cities. Okay? That beginning to work with the Ministry of Agriculture, we can help them to develop an agricultural living labs for the rural areas, with the centers that are doing agricultural research. Second, in the Catalonia region, the first city to be closed during COVID is Igualada, a kind of a rural city in the center of Catalonia. And in Igualada, we discovered that when you have a COVID, the health system is totally different, because this threat is for the 100% of the citizens, not for the ill people with a doctor or nursery in a hospital, but for the whole city, for the whole country. And that's opened with the spreading of these living labs in Igualada, a totally viewpoint different about the healthcare system. The new healthcare system is not for the health ill people, it's for preventing that the 100% of the population became ill. And the city discovered the responsibility on developing healthy cities. I mean, the traditional healthcare system we have in Europe, that is universal, was not able to respond to this kind of new existence of threat, the COVID. And we begin to discover that the whole territory is also participating in this new healthcare system. Third system we discovered, all industries that are localized in Barcelona in some rural areas. For example, the furniture industry. In the south part of Catalonia, we developed a networking of living labs related how to modernize this furniture system. And they developed an interiors living labs. The furniture understood that they can compete with IKEA, they need a new kind of model. The new model is opening up the cluster of furniture to other actors, for example, lights, for example, painters, for example, designers. And they're beginning to develop a totally new cluster called Interiors Living Lab Cluster. And this is the cluster pilot in the industrial department of the Generalitat to renew all the industrial, the traditional sector. That means that we need to learn a lot of how to gap with the living labs, how to cross this gap between the urban and rural areas. And I think living labs can open a new perspective for the innovation system in Europe. And this is one of the things we learned from the past time.
Thank you. Georgia, you are a practitioner of designing, operating a mobility living lab on a regional level. As such, living labs are becoming key players in addressing major global transitions. How do you see the shift from local to regional living labs supporting these transitions, and can you share your insights on this, please?
Yeah, thank you. Actually, yeah, I'm managing an agglomeration mobility living lab, and the last year we realized that it's not at the level of a city that we need to regioning the things and regioning the solutions. And so safety at the level of a region is a need. There are global challenges and we need to maximize the impact quickly. So by creating networked solutions and network ecosystems, this is something that can bring us really exams and solutions to maximize the impact and disrupt the current situation and go to the future. And in fact, what Arthur said, we need to integrate the interurban with urban. Because really, well, if you see the emission goals, I don't know how many of you look on climate neutral cities, okay, they ask for circular economy solutions in urban areas, hard to find. I mean, there are only a few out of the 100 climate neutral cities that they have this type of solution, yes, because it's not in the urban area, it's not possible there. So also renewable energy. Now we are taking renewable energy on the top of the parks, really. This is the way of the urban space we want to do. So we need for this type of initiative to find solutions outside the urban area. So that is why we need to region on the level of the regions, to maximize quickly the impact. The second thing is that what we are trying to do is a systemic change. We try to manage the transition, to manage the change. And we don't know how to do it. And if we believe that in each one of the cities around Europe, we will identify this type of models of supporting transition and change, and we then will try to harmonize them, and then we will try to, let's say, to implement. It's useless to think about that. So it's better if you define the system at the regional level and try to focus there to identify how you will manage the change, how you will monitor the change, and to make it more easy. Otherwise, it will be very complicated to try to manage the change in different subsystems until to go at the regional level. At the regional level, we have also this integrated knowledge. That is coming also at the local level, but it's different in a regional level because it is a more harmonized effort that we are doing. And look, there are some of our transformations we are looking like the digital transformation. That requires infrastructure. IoT infrastructure, 5G infrastructure. So suddenly in Europe we say, I want 100 resilient cities and 100 smart cities, and why? Why? So let's have regional smart cities, because the infrastructure we need, at least for the digital transformation, it's not city specific. It needs to be a region-wide, so let's bring the emphasis on that level from the local to regional. Also, every time we speak about Cadre helix, we are at the local level, of course we engage the Cadre helix. However, we need different power in research. And that power in research needs really bigger synergies in research and innovation. So it's not just, and why we do that? Because this change creates us needs for very dynamic response to situations. So we disrupt through innovation and digitization our regional economies, but we are not sure what it will happen. So let's see an example. I think we have it in Greece at least, okay? So we have digital tourism. So Airbnb, everybody in the cities, in order to develop the city's economy, everything turned to be Airbnb through the touristic development of the cities. And then we don't have affordable housing for the students. And then the Greek government starts, top down, saying, okay, this and this and this incentive. Nothing happened. And then the city is trying to apply some local, let's say, taxes, etc. Nothing happened. And also the people that were working on the market, they were saying, no, don't stop bringing the tourists for a weekend in the city. So no. And what happened at the regional level, the region of Southern Macedonia, we used the Living Lab, actually we used the Mobility Living Lab because that was at the moment the most relevant to that, through data, fact-driven, let's say, analysis, to identify areas in the peri-urban environment where we can use that, we can create affordable housing. So these are the things that are necessary. And also, it creates better policies and better planning. And I see that in mobility, we studied Europe by sustainable mobility plans. Every city beyond 50,000 citizens, they were supposed to make sustainable mobility plans. And now that we proceed with the region, the nodal points, when I'm off stand, please tell me, because I can speak for hours here. Sorry for this. So yeah, and then now we speak about regional sustainable mobility plans. And we try to decrease the 30% of the CO2 that is produced by logistics in the urban area. And we believe we don't need to tackle the supply chains that are happening at regional level, from where these goods are coming and where we need to have this infrastructure. So I'm saying that I'm saying that really at regional level we can create more impact, and we create more coherent strategies. And at least we will not use farmers' lands for renewable energy to bring in the cities in order to have electromobility that is not already there. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Nice examples, Georgia, thank you for that. And indeed, we can speak forever, and that's exactly what we're going to do today and tomorrow and Friday during the site visits. These panels are not here to close the debate, but to open the debate. So please address Georgia. Whenever you see her passing by, you will notice her, and she has also some other presentations coming up the next stage.
And may I invite for the transition to climate neutrality working group that is going to take place tomorrow. Okay?
Definitely. I was promoting my workshop, you can do the same. Maxime, Mr. Maxime, you have a workshop still to promote as well, or?
Yes, I try to compensate.
Great. You are really key in this. Yesterday in our working group, we were also discussing working group on urban innovation. So beautiful initiatives, and then the money issue comes up. So you're the director of a development agency. So your job is to stimulate regional economic development and prosperity, basically. You're also a funding agency. So how, from your perspective, you see the situation in Romania at large, this transition from local initiatives to regional living labs, and what do you in the agency do? What strategies and funding mechanisms are in place to support this transition here in the western part of Romania.
Thank you. A very complex question. First of all, I want to mention that this event and this type of approach of development and collaboration is already successful. Having all these people together today from so many countries, so many continents, and also on online other people connected, practically you create already the trust to put people together, because the trust accelerates, like the presentation before mentioned, the trust accelerates the communication, accelerates the processes, accelerates everything is done together. And the trust can be much easier done at the local level, having practically territorial region. Everybody speak before, music from my ear, having this territorial perspective, because in every country it's a territory very limited where something happened, especially if you talk about maybe it's a classical one, Silicon Valley, or south of Germany with cars, or other parts of Europe with other types of development. Romania is still a very centralized country. We developed and we discovered this decentralization very soon. Practically it's the first European cycle of planning where we have decentralized program at the regional level. And maybe it will be funny for you. I try to switch the concept from spending money to investing money. It's in a common language. Every politician, everyone's talking about how to spend very quickly the money. No, if we spend it, we lost it. We need to invest money, and to invest money, you need planning. And to do planning, you need competent people and you need institutions, because just institutions can accumulate expertise in time and can capitalize the processes. And now what we do and what we try to do now, having this decentralization now, we try to create institutions which are missing. We want to develop an agency for innovation, which we don't have it. We try to switch from classical grants for companies to buy equipment which are sometimes not used appropriately in terms of productivity. They buy very expensive equipment with €1 million, but they use it 20% of the time, and actually they lost money, and they need to be trained. Somehow they need to be connected to the people who are able to help them to increase productivity, to develop new products. And for all these things, I realize, and we realize, that we, the state, with the local institution, with the public sector, we need to innovate first. Then we ask others to do. And we must prove that. And again, it's about trust. And this is the first pillar, the Agency for Innovation. The second one, we try to switch from the grants to the accelerators, venture capital, seed money, where we give money or we try to invest in companies, offer them also mentorship, offer them access to the market, offer them other tools than only the money to buy something for them, their business. And the third important pillar is to invest in innovation. We invest in three directions. One, to the universities, and trying to cooperate with them to develop them on skills. And here we have also a challenge, because universities are also public entities. They are very big entities, very rigid. For every acquisition they need to do very sophisticated public procurement, which are crossing through them financial department, juridical department, and this is the reason why we try to take it out, this competence, and to facilitate this communication somewhere out of the universities. And of course, we try to finance the companies with money, but not directly the money. We try to give them vouchers for innovation, to put them in contact with the innovators who can really help them. And of course, the last very important issue, and with this I will close. I see the watch there, time is running. we realize that the future is done by the young generation. And the young generation now is more lazy than before. I don't want to say differently, and they don't like to do manual things, and they go to universities, and they reach very good jobs from the day one. With a good salary, they take loans, they take cars, they don't need to do other things, and sometimes they really don't know where they want to go. And this mentorship should be done really previous than they arrive in the universities. This is the reason why we try to invest in some competence center with the last technologies, where we try to expose the young generation to technologies, different technologies. If you talk about the environment, or maybe 3D printing, or maybe AI, or maybe different things, and we together in collaboration with universities and companies, we try to expose them and maybe to give them an idea about what the future should look like. Because coming in universities, maybe it's too late for them to do a switch or to have a broad vision about what they can do. And these are the most important tools which we use it to act. And for this, we really want to invest, and we start to do some of these pillars are already in progress to be developed. And together with Alessandra, which is very, very important partner, and universities in general, we try to do this, and with companies, of course, we try to develop. Practically, we try to innovate and to invent these new institutions which already are not exist already now in our region. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. So, very interesting opening statements. We're not going to have a closing statement because that's something we're going to keep for tomorrow night. Thanks a lot. Everybody will be here around. Also you, Mr. I think, for a big part of the day. And really good to see how you're supporting all the incredible initiatives that are happening within this part of the country and the country itself. And it can be an inspiration also just from a European perspective. It's possible with regional funding to do interregional collaboration these days as well, and I know Romania is active in that as well. So if you're not Romanian, don't hesitate to reach out because there are possibilities. Thank you and see you later.
Thank you so much. Little announcement, the coffee break is going to be on the ground floor, so please just go down, enjoy. Find a table with your flag if you find your country, so we can all come and just discuss with you. Thank you so much and have a good conference. Thank you.